Hi guys. Today I want to talk about the fight between Miyata and Randy Boy Jr. Now a lot of people say that in this fight Miyata should have lost, because in the later half of the fight he had taken a lot of damage. So in this video we will try to see if that's the case. Now let's see the fight start to finish, and let's try to keep a note of the damage that the two fighters take in all the rounds, so we can understand if someone should have really lost. The first round begin with Randy really struggling to get a hold of Miyata, because there is huge difference in speed between the two, and for that Randy is taking some light damage. Still he managed with his pressure skill to take Miyata to the corner, but despite that, he is taken with a big left counter. So it's just the first round and Randy has already taken some punishment. Round 2 begin, and Randy is trying his best to keep up with Miyata's speed, but he ends up with him taking another counter from Miyata, and a very sharp one at that. Still Randy is stubborn and has a lot of determination, so despite that, he still push forward and it seems, he is slowly catching up to Miyata. But in reality Miyata is slowing down on purpose, and at the right time, he throws a jolt counter, taking Randy directly in the head. This time Randy has eaten a counter with a full body weight behind, but we can notice that in reality, he has halted the damage by changing his guard, from orthodox to southpaw. And with that round 2 ends, and for now, only our Rakan boy has taken some light punches, 2 sharp counters, and 1 big jolt counter, that was a bit parried, with Miyata being for now completely fine for the most part. But we gotta remember, that Miyata is very weak when it comes to take damage, so with a powerful punch from Randy, the fight can really shift in a second. Round 3 begins. And Miyata dominate like always, with his speed, but something is off, and Randy manages to connect with his punches, because he is now changing constantly between orthodox to southpaw, making Miyata finally taking some damage for the first time. To counter that, Miyata unleash his speed hell, making himself going even faster, and coming out on top at the end of the round, by making Randy experience some dreadful razor-sharp punches. With that Randy is even more tired, but he is still in the fight, because this type of punches that Miyata has thrown are a lot, but are just superficial. And so the 4th round begins. Miyata is still using his speed hell to overwhelm Randy. But it's so much speed that the power from the punches is lacking, and with a sturdy defense Randy stay calm, and finally recover for the damage from the jolt counter. Making him ready again for attack. At this point, he start to get used to rapid fire of Miyata, so he is now able to slip, and dodge the punches, and even parry them. And by parrying the lefts of Miyata he enters in his guard, and repeatedly hit him with body blows. Still Miyata fight back every time by countering with a left straight. Of course in these exchange is still Randy the one that deals more damage. After more than 5 body blows, Miyata is very tired, and maybe his ribs are busted. He sucks to turn the situation around by countering Randy with a right straight instead of the left one. And this is the end for round 4. We got Randy that has taken again multiple counters, of lefts, and 1 right, all in the head, in exchange for extremely damaging Miyata body, with body blows, making him broke his ribs and making him very tired for using the speed hell technique. And we got to the 5th round. Randy is still using his body blows of course, to take advantage of the broken ribs. And Miyata is still trying to use his right straight counter, but he can use it properly because FO the broken ribs he has, causing even more damage to use body. Out FO stubbornness, he continues with this same strategy again and again, with Randy basically having a free shoot to his body, every time this happens. Now this is the part when some people kinda have doubts. And say that Miyata should have lost there. Because it's established that Miyata, because of weight control, and his nature, he's not very resilient to taking a lot of damage, and here in this part, he is in the worst condition we ever see him. He even takes a punch to his weak chin, that takes him to the ground for the 10 count at the end of round 5. In my opinion it's true that Miyata is pretty weak by now, but only his body is in critical condition, his head it's still pretty clear. He can still think of something. I mean don't get me wrong, I'm sure that at this point the pain is unbearable, but we all know how Miyata can ignore the pain in critical situations. And we must not forget, that Randy too has taken his share of punches to the head by Miyata, so I think that, with a well-placed right counter jolt, he can really go down. At the end of round 5th, now we got a Miyata with a destroyed body, and a Randy Boy Jr. with a damaged head, so we can only see, who is gonna take the first shot, with a lot of power behind it, and go down. I mean Randy is still the favorite, because Miyata can really use his right with these broken ribs. The bell for round 6 rings. And we see that Randy goes for the attack, and switch constantly between southpaw and orthodox stance. With this, Miyata can't predict the distance to land his counters, and it's just getting punched more and more. Out of desperation, her starts to throw big left upper straight swings, making Randy step back and respond in kind, always with a left. Miyata is on his last legs, but we can notice that with this strange big left straight that he is using, he is defending himself from body blows, and Randy always start the counter attack with a left, making so possible for Miyata to predict it, and go for a devastating right counter that we never even seen him doing. As I say before, with this powerful and last strike, Randy goes down and Miyata takes his victory. Now the crucial point for understanding if Miyata should have won or not this fight, it's right there, on this last punch that he throws to win. If you think he can still manages to throw it, then it's his win. If not, then he should have lost. It's true that he himself say that he should have at least 1 or 2 shots remaining to throw, but before he was even able of doing a normal right with his ribs broken. So it sound a bit unlikely for him to even doing this last powerful counter that got him the win. In my opinion, we should take for granted the statement that he did have some saved up energy, like he was saying, but even so, I must admit, this was a damn lucky victory in some way. So that is all for today. Thanks for seeing the video and don't forget to subscribe.